Parade of grafters.
Jackson, no!
Ding, ding.
If you need water, there's a sand pill.
Oh, mate, the best.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I love you, Steve, because you've got San Pellegrino in the house. I don't give a shit about Heineken. This shit.
So what are you saying, sorry?
So, yeah, about half an hour ago I was in Wax, and a guy called Liam who was in Fast Point, we just randomly started talking about that page.
Were they from Sheffield? Or was it further north?
No, Eagles were based in Sheffield, I think. Oh, no, sorry, they were based in Leeds, because it was like... But Tom, bassist, was... Oh, you mean Fast Point, sorry?
Yes.
I want to say Liam was is it Grimsby way he's from originally?
Ah, yeah, that rings a bell.
Like, because they all, like, there's a band called, they showed me one of the posters that's on that page, like Deal With It, Fast Point, and it was all, they're all like northeast way.
Yeah, was that the one with the little boy on the cover, on the
Yeah,
flyer?
yeah.
Yeah, the little, yeah.
And we were
Sick
just chatting
flyer.
away about all the old house gigs and stuff that used to go on that, to be fair, were like quite rife. Back then it was just like,
Yeah.
there's a basement show here, or there's someone playing in someone's front room here, and generally it was all like punk and hardcore bands. But I was literally like, I want to know who's doing this page, because I've been following it and I've been tagged in it, and I've been chatting to people about it, and then you've just said that. So well done, Mr. Watt.
Yeah, I was doing that LS6 DIY page, but I kind of just lost I couldn't be asked doing it.
Yeah. But hey, it was good for when you were throwing it all out there. It was just like, wow, yeah, like memory lane, and
Oh fuck yeah.
I don't know. I always chat to people about, I'm not going on about the current state of music or whatever, but it's like, I don't want to say how, we're all getting older and stuff, but I'd love to know, because I'm so out the loop, even with like popular music. But does this shit still go on in like Hyde Park and Burley? And
There's a new spot in, I think it's in Armley. There's a new sort of kind of crusty spot, I think. I don't know what it's called, but do you reckon you could give that a quick search? Give it a look online for like a DIY gig space in Armley.
Yes, we went there.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You mean Luke?
It's the one that's alongside Rock and Roll Circus.
wow, Rock and Roll Circus, yeah.
Well, there was a space alongside it. I think it might even be inside of Rock and Roll Circus. There was just some random like Hark. Hark from Swansea. Do you remember Taint?
Yeah.
So Jim Bob's, the band he did after Taint was Hark. They played it, and it was like there was an art space in there, and it was like a distro area and a cafe area, and it was seriously fucking cool. This is another Northern. No, this one's for you.
Oh, this is for me.
We're going to smash some beers tonight. This is one of the, you know me, I'm Northern Monk lads, so...
This is the one of your wacky...
One of the wacky Northern Monk IPAs. But yeah, so there's...
That is fruity as fuck.
Fuck yeah. There's a new spot in Sheffield, a crust spot that's got like a suitably crust name, like...
Lugo.
That's it, yeah. I was going to say Snot.
I've been I think we played there.
Who's this?
This is not recently. This is the kind of last functioning band I was in. Was it Kings or Shields? One of the two. They were pretty similar, but just different members.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played Lugo once or twice. It was ace.
I didn't realise it was that long standing a spot.
Yeah. I'm talking. Jesus Christ.
9 years ago.
Yeah, I want to go. Yeah, 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was great, like good little place, like £2 cans of Red Stripe. Hey, you're good with me.
Yeah, I remember there was years back in the 90s. There was the Park and Ride in Bristol. They used to put on gigs,
right?
And when they'd put on gigs, because they didn't have a booze license, there was like a voucher system or something.
Oh right, okay.
I think you paid for a voucher and you exchanged the voucher for a beer.
Right,
because that was the sort of the loophole that they had.
Oh right, okay, I get you. No, but yeah, like someone told me it closed down, but then someone revamped it or took it over to, a lot of people came together to kind of
get it back
not
in the
let
mix.
it. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, I think again once or twice we went, but always had a good time, and then the Sheffield crowd are always good.
Yeah. Who was that lad, Pancho? He was the sort of the
Pancho
head crusty.
Was a few of them, weren't they?
I think there was definitely a few crusties over there, but I always remember Pancho as being a solid lad.
It's like Pancho and
I think the last time I saw him
Chris,
was on tour in Europe
what's his
somewhere.
name? Chris something or other. Mate, not Black. But yeah,
do
he's
you
had
know
dots
about the
around.
Chris Black thing? Do you know about that? The Nirvana story.
No.
So you know the iconic Kurt Cobain with the red and black jumper?
Right, yeah.
Apparently the story is that Chris Black was just hanging on the street or something.
Right.
And Kurt asked him for a jumper. I don't know the full story, but basically Chris gave him the jumper.
All right,
and
so
then
Chris was wearing the jumper and then he gave it to him.
It was Chris's jumper, yeah. It's Chris's jumper. He gave it to Kurt. Kurt then does this MTV photo shoot with it, and it kind of becomes this iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chris Black.
Wow.
Assembly House.
I think that is the one that's.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So.
sounds posh, but it's not.
Yeah, but it's.
And that's in Armley, right?
Yeah. It's just down the hill from where Brunny used to live. Where Luke now lives. Our Luke.
Wetherill.
Yeah. And as I say, just around the corner from Rock and Roll Circus practice room.
Just coming down, talking about all these, because I live out near Allerton Byron at Castleford way now, but like coming back here, like in the taxi, I was just like, man, this is awesome. Like,
yeah,
it's like, all the years that we had.
When did we meet?
I want to say 2007, 8 maybe.
Okay. Do you know
around there?
I got there's no memory from that era. It's like it's gone for me.
I remember like I'd finished college when I moved to Hyper. I'd finished college with a BTEC in sport, and
the fuck's a BTEC in sport?
Oh, mate, no one knows. Technically I don't have one because
the qualifications died.
No, like at the end of the second year when you're supposed to hand all your assignments in. This is how daft the fucking course was. He's like, the guy was like, right, Paul, rung me up at home. He's like, we haven't had the last 2 assignments from you, so if you don't hand them in, we're going to have to fail you. And I was just like, I have handed them in. You give me a merit for one and distinction for the last one. Oh, did I? Yeah. Oh, well, come pick up your certificate in Horsforth tomorrow and you've got your BTEC. Thank you. Bye. Pure lie. Didn't do the 2 qualifications, assignments whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it was that easy just to convince the guy that was head of the course to like go, yeah, there you go. The first house I ever lived in Hyde Park was the Branxton Place house.
Oh, shit.
So it was like, in that house there was me, Al, Rose and Shona. And then, obviously, 2 doors down, there was Lewis, John.
I totally forgot that.
Branxton Place.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget about that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I forgot that it was you guys lived down the road. I forgot that. Yeah.
So that was like my kind of, I come from different friendship groups all over, but it's like, that was my introduction into meeting the lads from the Plight.
100% forgot that Nat and Rose lived there as well.
Yeah. Like, we had a few turnovers in that house in the space of a year. But yeah, and then like that, the basement gigs that went on there were like Gallows and stuff. Annihilation Time, fucking hell, that was the start of me kind of getting into that world of, like, let's say, touring and being in bands and stuff, because we were just all the same person, you know what I mean? It was like, we all like fucking having a good time. We all went to the same music, and then it was literally where I think the Plight lot were like, I'd jump in the van with us on the next door. I was like, yeah, sound, I've got nothing else to do. I've got a bullshit job somewhere. And then, it just steamrolled from there, really. And obviously met you at countless gigs, and again, cut
just
from the same cloth.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Want to do the same thing, want to get loaded, want to, go see as many fucking awesome bands, support as many awesome bands as you can. And then, until to this day, brother, we're here.
So when did, I guess, after the Plight shit fizzled out, you probably will, because when the Plight was rolling, it seemed like it was the band that could have gotten somewhere.
Yeah, they still to this day,
Oh yeah, there's so much lost potential.
There's lost potential, but I had some of my best memories of being in that band and around the band. I think I've laughed as hard as I have or ever will with those lads. It was, and all the people we met through it. Still to this day, you keep in touch with people up and down the country and whatever. Like there were ace times, but the old saying, it has to end at some point.
Yeah. So was that when you kind of segued into the bar work then?
No, So my first bar job was Santiago.
Everyone's.
Yeah. And I remember I'd been to a gig with Stringer. We'd gone to see Clutch at Cockpit, I think, and then we'd always go to Santiago and I was drinking blah blah blah. And at this point, I was like in between jobs, I think. And there's a not famous, but there's a video on YouTube of when I was with The Plight and they were playing a festival in London. Oh, excuse me. Justin Hawkins from The Darkness was like headlining it, and so we were all sharing like the same backstage area. Plight played at like 2:00 in the afternoon. He was obviously headlining at like 10:00 at night, and he was like moseying on through, and he had a manager, and the manager was like, "All right, you need to get out of the dressing room, because Justin he's got an interview." And was like, "Well, there was like other bands as well, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you can't just turf us out."
Yeah.
Like, no, you need to get out. So I remember there's like in the Underworld in Camden, there's like the backstage bit.
Oh Jesus!
But then there's like a little corridor. Yeah. We were all just like
just on the side
shoved
of the
into it. Like half of us are smoking spliffs, the other I was drinking. Like this is like now the Plight already played. It was like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It was like a few of the fucking Gallows lot were there as well, like for support and stuff. And it was like, so why the fuck are we taking this? Like this is bullshit. Like this guy is just because he wants an interview and talk about himself. I was like, right, I'll tell you what. And then as a joke, I went, you know what? When he plays, I'm just gonna fucking run on stage naked. And they're like, yeah. And like, snapshot joke, fine, forget it. 4 or 5 hours later, Darkness go on stage, and I think it might have been Stoz, who was just like, "You're gonna do it," and I'd totally forgotten what I'd said.
Instigator.
But at this point, I was like, loaded. I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, go streak on stage. I was like, "Oh, are they on stage now?" I was like, right, I'm doing it. And as I'm taking my clothes off, like Stoz had this like beer crate like bottom full of like people were just putting in money for me to do it. So it was like 40 quid that people were like, yeah, do it. I was like, I'm definitely doing it now. Because, in them days, we were all broke and it was I was going to do it for free, but the fact that everyone had got 40 quid together, I was like, well, that's like 4 beers in London. That's fucking great. So yeah, I finally got my kit off and like ran on stage, and I think it was Lags who filmed it. And it's on YouTube. There's a mate of mine from America who buzzes off it. He literally messages me like twice a year going, please send me a YouTube streaking video. But yeah, I ran on stage, got my dick out, like fucking did it, and then came back, and then went back again and did the same thing. Came back backstage, put all my clothes on, because all the security at this point are like banging on the door. All the rest of the lads that were there like holding the door shut so I can get my clothes on. Like put my hat on, put sunglasses on, thinking no one's going to recognise me, it's fine. And then I think when they finally came in, or we all got out, I think they tried to throw Lewis out, because they thought it was Lewis and not me. So it was like, no, it's fine, let him in, whatever. But yeah, that whole video was like, got filmed, and the next day, the manager of the label was like, oh, Paul, do you mind if I post this on YouTube? I was like, go for it. And yeah, I believe it's still there to this day. And so, wind back to Santiago. Dave Holmes, owner and Santiago boy, I showed him the video, and he literally just turned and looked at me and went, do you want a job? I was like, yeah, I can pull a pint, I think. And yeah, worked there for... I think I was there for like, I want to say 3.5 years. Okay. Maybe 4. Yeah. Also, again, awesome times. Met a load of fucking awesome people. Learnt a lot of not what to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, it's kind of like just it's a playground in that place.
Yeah, I mean, at that point as well, it was, Santiago was, it's doing so well now. But yeah, again, I still frequent it, not as much as I used to do. But the other fun thing about Santiago was like any bands that were coming through town of like a higher grade than just basement shows in Hyde Park. They'd always like come down to Santiago, and you know, I remember your pal Frank Turner. He did like a secret gig, and I remember coming to work down the arcade, and there was just like a line of kids like that, like streaming up the arcade. I was like, typical young bartender, like, what the fuck are all these people coming to the bar for? And then it was like, oh, Frank Turner's playing a gig here, and I think I barely knew who he was at the time. Like, I'd heard of Million Dead, but then yeah, like when it all kicked off, it was just like unreal, like stuff like that going on. And then Chuck Reagan, I think from Hot Water Music, he did like his, did he play Brudenell, and then he did another set
I don't know,
at Santiago.
I missed that.
There was that one, and it was just like the bar was absolutely packed. And
I remember there was what was that band? There's some hipster kind of punk rock band that played Mojo one time, I think, as well.
Oh,
the something or other.
Hold Steady.
The Hold Steady,
yeah. I think I got a gig cancelled or something.
Okay.
And someone was a big fan who worked there at the time and said, "Oh, you can," because Mojo wasn't even a venue, but like they squeezed them in.
How did they even fucking?
That was
bonkers.
Before my Mojo time, but like I've heard all the people that I used to work with, they said, yeah, they just squeezed in. You know where the windows are?
The back end or the front?
Yeah, the front. They just all like just played. But I've only listened to them a few times. Like, not my bag, but like, no. I imagine.
I imagine it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. There's still, when I worked there, like,
people probably still
people
talk
coming
about
in and like chatting about one guy called Howard, who we always lovely guy. Not gonna, just let him, but it's all he talks about. He's like, a lot of it. Have I told you that? And the whole study played here.
Do you know what? It's that funny thing as well when it's like those seminal gigs. There was I sent a pic to Ben D from Derail.
Yes, we miss you.
Miss you, Ben.
Miss you.
Sent a pic to him recently of when Derail and Stand both played in Newport, South Wales. And I happened to be in town at the time, so I kind of went along, and he was like, "Oh, it was the best gig. It was a great time."
Yeah.
And I was saying to him, "Nah, mate, it was a shit gig. It was the worst time. It was the venue's a piece of shit. It was cold. No one turned up. It was like no atmosphere, but it was all pals." And I
think that's what we always forget, innit? It's like, you
the
look
gigs
back
were
at it
shit.
now and like they were totally shit.
Yeah.
But
everything else, like the travelling, the boozing, the meeting people, the before, everything.
The in-jokes, the out-jokes, man, like, it was just a constant thing every day.
Yeah, because I said to him, like, it was a shit gig, but I remember didn't Mark from Stand, I think, got run over before outside, and there were all of these things that happened, like there were all of these stories that are around it. So you look back on that gig and it's like, yeah, that gig was the best. Oh no, actually,
it was a train wreck.
Yeah. But it reminded me because Jim that put that gig on, Jim Blackwell, still down in South Wales.
Okay.
He says to this day, like, people would say, like, oh, I was at that gig, because it's like they were the cool kind of northern hardcore bands at the time. Fuck all, people turned up. He knows exactly
road
who was
stories,
there.
Isn't it? Like, people always like, the gig, but it's like the stories in between. Me and my Mrs. Tasha, we went to go see Lars from Rancid on Monday.
A couple of nights ago, yeah.
And it was like promoted as, an evening with Lars Fredriksson. I was like, that's a bit, I don't know what to expect, but let's go, because no pun intended. But, Rancid are one of those big influences for me when I was growing up and playing guitar and whatever. So we went, and I was like, oh, I don't know what it's going to be like. It's just him on his own with electric guitar, and like, what the hell is going to happen? One of the best things I've ever been to in the last 10 years. He literally played a lot of Rancid tunes, like UK subs, did a Ramones cover, a Kiss cover, but like,
what Kiss song?
Coming Home. But it was like, in between each song, he had like a tour story.
Yeah.
And that made it, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, from touring with, like, he played 53rd and 3rd by the Ramones, and then he'd like, after that, it'd be like, when I was, we only toured with the Ramones for like a brief amount of time, but I'm still like, fuck, you toured with the Ramones, and you're right here to like telling it.
Yeah,
They as the songs will last forever, right? And you'll be always able to hear it. But hearing him like talk about all these like tour stories and stuff, it just made the night, and like the crowd singing along and stuff. So yeah, and comparing it to what we did back in the day, like yeah, the gigs were all right or they were shit, but you'll always remember the ride to the gig or where you stayed in a shithole, or every now and then you get lucky and you'd stay at some rich kid's house and it'd be like, oh my god, yeah, let's
stop at Jack Wayne's house this weekend.
Yes. Fucking yeah. Even if we were playing in Hull, should we stay at Jack Wayne's?
Jesus, yeah, man. Trying to find somewhere to crash. I remember I won't even go into it, but it was, yeah. The amount
Camera's
of times,
rolling, Steve.
The amount of times, yeah, I can edit stuff out. It's all good. But
in that case,
yeah. But the amount of times where it's just like we have nowhere to stay. What the fuck are we gonna do? I remember an amount of times being in London, and like London's the worst for it because just people will, oh yeah, I'll put you up, don't worry about it. But yeah. Oh sorry, yeah, there was a party.
They've got a free badge or a t-shirt. Oh, I'll put you up if you give me a free t-shirt or whatever. All right, yeah, bang, see you later.
Yeah, no, and we slept in the van more often than not in London, basically. I remember one time we managed to blag into like some after party. It was on some Austrian pals of mine, Cameron, they were called.
Right.
And they were the coolest fucking guys. They'd somehow like made a life of being in the UK and somehow not earning any money and existing. They just crash on people's floors.
Heroes.
Legends. We, after one of the gigs, played, what gig was it? The big London venue, basically. The Astoria, it's probably it.
Astoria, Forum, maybe?
Yeah, and we ended up back at some hotel. We had to give like a whole bunch of these LA music industry lasses a lift. Shit, and it was Ryan from Funeral for a Friend, because he was managing one of the bands.
Okay, yeah.
Along with one of the lads from Iron Monkey, who was also a manager, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember what the names are. My pal Jim Bob would know. He's probably shouting at the screen saying the names. But yeah, so we ended up like giving a lift to Ryan, this Iron Monkey guy, and a gaggle of LA industry lasses.
Yeah.
Ended up in some posh hotel. Tried to buy drugs off me.
Nice.
I ain't got I'm not a cocaine guy. So we left that and then slept in a van. So it's kind of just
like from the high rise to right. Okay, yeah, we're back where we fucking started.
Yeah. But so Santis, you're at Santis.
Yeah.
3.5 years.
3.5 to 4 years, and then it got to the point where, like I said, that was the last year was the end of the Plight.
Oh, so you were still in the Plight whilst you were at Santis?
Yeah. So I was at Santiago before I joined the Plight. As in band member anyway.
Yeah.
But then, because money was tight, I started remember Milo?
The bar?
Yeah. So like Dave, and also who used to do that with, it was like Dave, Lou and Mark who had it at the time. It's like, oh, if you can help us out, like we need some staff. So I was like, yeah, I need the money. Sounds good. So I'd work like day shift Milo, night shift Santiago, and like vice versa. And all the dudes down at Milo, like some of my best friends I made out of that bar. Like I was only there for about 6-7 months. Had the best time down there, and then Mojo basically came calling, and I went. I could not turn down the money. It was just like, and at that point, Mojo was like,
dental.
He's what?
And dental.
Yeah.
You get a fucking dental plan.
It was mental, but like
mental with the dental.
I could not turn down the money. Like at that point, they were probably like, they treated their staff the best more than any other bar. And it was Mojo. Like for me, it was always where we used to go after we finished at Santiago.
Yeah.
There'd always be a bottle of Heineken. There'd always be a shot of Jaeger for you. The music was always good. So I just couldn't turn it down. I was like, yep. And I remember Jonty asking me, just like, can you take the Mojo job? I was just like, fuck yeah, I am. Like, 20 grand a year, are you kidding me? That's like fucking millions.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and then took the Mojo job.
Do it with the other beer.
And yeah, learnt a hell of a lot. Again, Mojo was just like, I mean, you helped us out for a few, like bar backing and stuff. It was just the Friday, Saturday nights there were just like
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
It feels like it's.
It went from like
you can cut your teeth elsewhere, but like Mojo is where you go to kind of like.
If you think you had thick skin, then like add on like another fucking bar.
But it's like, you can anyone can do the job, but like, can you do your job consistently to that standard in like rapid fire in that kind of high intense scenario?
I mean, I never thought until you look back at it. I always think. You think about you the booze, the mates, and the music and stuff like that. But like, some people every now and then ask me like about it, and I'm like, like what? As in the people that are more into the cocktail side of stuff. I'll be honest, it's not my game. I like a decent cocktail, but
they were fun.
Doesn't interest me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when people ask me about what like cocktails did you do when you worked there, I look back at it, like, you had to memorize like fucking.
Oh yeah.
At least 50 cocktails before you could like step up to the next like pay grade or.
I was going to say 20.
Whatever, because you were on like
insane.
They used to. I don't know if they do it now, but you'd be on like a 6-month probation where you'd have to do a load of like cocktail tests and stuff like that, and it just gets ingrained in you. So like, I mean now, and you barely think twice about if someone orders a cocktail. Yeah, I know straight away what that is. Unless it's a porn star martini, which is like the worst cocktail on earth. But it's like ingrained in you that all that time of you like learning and just serving, like, because you were there like 3-4 deep on a Friday, Saturday. You'd be getting like, can I have 6 Heinekens on this side? Some guy would be like, espresso martini, strawberry daiquiri this side, and then some dude that just wants a scotch on the rocks with 2 cubes of ice. And you just like what? As soon as 11 o'clock hit till 3, that was you.
4 or 5.
As it went on.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, you're open till 4 now. Oh, by the way, guys, you're open till 5 now.
So what's the vibe like? So have you been into like Mojo much on a say like Saturday night? Has it returned?
Since I left,
since the reopen now, and since like people are still like getting back out there now.
Yeah.
Is the vibe that was like, because Mojo was the fucking vibe. Has it returned or?
I couldn't tell you honestly. I've been since I left. I left in 2019.
Okay.
I've been 3 times, 4 maybe.
Yeah.
But it's always
going to a place you used to work as well. It's a bit of a.
Yeah, but as much as like you'll always. Yeah, I left there for a reason, and don't get me wrong, I left there because of my own. I needed to get out. I'd been there for 8.5 years.
Bear with me a sec.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make sure it is actually recording.
Dun, dun, dun.
That would be hilarious.
We can do it all again.
Yep, it is recording.
You're
it's
in?
all good. Intersection of professionalism there.
You've done this before.
Yeah. I've done this twice before.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so... but yeah, as I say, going back into a spot you used to work at, it's not exactly something you're going to rush to.
No.
But do you know what I mean? Like back in the day, Mojo was, you go in there at sort of midnight,
it was the
Saturday
place.
Night.
It was
fucking
the place.
Jumping,
And
fucking rammed.
Going back to when I got the job offer, like, bit the hand off. Like, my mate, Sam Fish, she was the manager at the time, and she just went, I need someone to bring the party into the bar. Can you do that? Or do you want to do that? And I just went, I know fuck all about cocktails. She was like, we can teach you that, but we need you to come in and inject some, like, pouring beer over people's heads and Jaeger at, like, and banging some Motorhead on at midnight and stuff. And I was just like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And you want to pay me? And you want to pay me all this money? Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. And the majority of the staff that I worked with throughout the years that I was there, great. You know what I mean? Like made again like Milo, Santiago. Some of my best mates are all from these bars, and it's mental how. I mean, there's a few of them that are still working in it, as in the industry, but as a lot of people have bar work as a stepping stone or an in-between thing. And don't get me wrong, when I started it, I thought, yeah, I'll do this for a bit. Hi.
But that's what a lot of this I want to kind of get into is because, as you say, it is people just do it because it's a thing that you can easily step into.
Oh, mate, yeah.
But it turns out you can actually kind of go in lots of different directions. So for yourself, you're now a bar owner. For people like Wilbs, she's gone in the sort of the in-house direction of working the office side. But it just seems like there's a lot of different ways you can go with it, like brand ambassador side, like Claire. Claire from Mojo, she's gone. What's she doing now?
She's with so Owen Neary, who works for the same brand. He's just started working for them. So I think Claire's based in London, and like Lee Owen's like the northern ambassador and stuff.
Okay.
So we've just got it's like an Australian whiskey called Starwood. Banging, like, I mean, any whiskey you can put in front of me, I'm going to say is banging. But
speaking of which, we have a shot.
Oh, Stephen, that's a nice brand as well.
Well, what can I say? I figured we could.
I like this, by the way.
Yeah, it's a gift from my grandma.
That's awesome.
I figured we can go one for the JMO, one for the Jack, and you can tell me what the difference is, because I have got no idea, and I figure you sell them, so you might know.
What, of Irish and...
I don't know. One's called JMO, one's called Jack. What's the fucking difference?
Mate, like again, not a lot. But yeah, I mean...
So yeah, what's the brand that Claire and Owen are rocking?
I can't remember the actual brand name. But I know, like, obviously Starwood's one of the whiskies that they look after. They look after Ocho Tequila. So they've got a few stuff on their resume, and I think since they've got Owen in as well, because he knows so many people in like Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, that they try to push their stuff more north.
Was he connected to some sort of gin type stuff previously?
Owen?
Yeah.
No, Owen. So Owen, he worked at Mojo before I did. He worked at the Leeds one for a bit, but he managed the Liverpool one for years, and then he was at Wax for a bit as well.
Oh, okay.
Because he's best mates with Andy, who owns Wax. So he was always like in and out of the bars, and obviously Sam Fish, Mojo.
Telly? Oh.
Yeah. Well, she's literally seen them today, actually. She's back at the Tetley helping out 2 days, but she runs rolling social events with Lee Jones.
Is that what it's called?
Sorry.
Rolling social events. Is that the name of the company, or is that what they do?
No, so this is something separate. This is like Sam Fish's business. Lee Jones helps out with it, and they do like, basically, I think it came out of...
Lee from Wax?
Yeah. So they do like tastings and rum festival, whiskey festival.
I think that's where I've got the Owen's connection to gin, maybe.
Yeah,
I think I'd assumed he was doing something with Sam.
Yeah, well, he helps out. So like,
okay, cool.
Especially, I think the brand name fails me.
Can you give it a look? What's the stuff they?
I'll find.
Was it Starwood? You say?
Yeah. So hang on, it'll be because it just got.
Or just search for Owen.
I'll literally follow them on the old IG. So
we can edit this out. It's all good.
Yeah.
And just as an aside, we are drinking the pineapple coconut lassie sour from North Brewing.
Cask for it, I think it's. There you go.
I think they've got it on tap as well.
Cask Liquid Marketing.
Oh, okay, cool. Cask Liquid Marketing. Well, what's the handle? Cask. Cask for it. Get them on Instagram. Cask for it.
An alcoholic drinks agency based in the heart of London's East End.
Oh, there we go.
But
but point being that like Claire, a colleague that we we met whilst working at Mojo, and she then went in the sort of the brand ambassador, or I guess
different avenues, isn't it? Like everyone does.
Not sure how you'd phrase it, but yeah.
Like you say, you've got brand ambassadors. You can go up into. I think once you've done the company, if you work for a company for long enough, and don't get me wrong, like I know being behind the bar for one place gets a bit much, as if you're doing the same thing and you feel there's no progression.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't move into like a manager's role or something like that. But then
you've got to jump bars, but yeah.
Yeah, you jump bars, or like I said, what Kate did. she was working behind the bars and stuff. And then she's now doing like the bookings or events.
Escapism?
Escapism, innit? So it's like Verve and.
What's because there's
how many of the bars they have and stuff.
There's like two groups that basically have got Core Lane. Is it?
So you've got Inkito.
I
think it's that. It's the dude that owns like a Porto, PCL, Jake's, Neon Cactus, and then you've got Escapism, which is it's basically like the two of them, and then you've just got Northern Guitars at the bottom, which again I love.
I fucking love that place.
Mate, there's so like I remember you saying before the podcast, I was going to ask you what your favourite drinking spots are, and it's just like I love everywhere to an extent. You know what I mean? It's like.
It's whatever the vibe is. It's like if it's Sunday afternoon, I'm going to Northern Guitar it. If it's
mate, it's just like
Saturday night,
I do it. I love in between. I'm always in town for
you're a wax
at the
guy.
bar. Always been a wax guy. 10 years strong. Go everywhere apart from wax, guys. Go everywhere apart from wax.
That's the thing as well. We don't want to blow up your spot. So it's Where are the places that people should stay the fuck away from then? So stay the fuck away from wax.
Stay the fuck away from wax. Stay away from Grindhouse.
Your business.
Stay away from.
We don't want any.
Stay away from Santiago. Everywhere else, you go 3 legs. 3 legs is a top spot. Mate, I've been in there a few times now, and that place is just like blows my mind every time.
Yeah.
Because
it's like Brudenell back in the day.
Yeah, well, it's like the age-old story goes. It's like it used to be the place where all the thieves used to bring their shit and sell it in there, and that was like, however many years ago. You can
still buy some stolen meat in there.
But I guarantee you, there's some guy with like
carry a bag full of steaks,
and like in the same bag there's like AAA batteries or some shit.
Oh yeah,
charging the meat. But it's like what I love about that place is like it's got the history of that, and it you never want to go into this, but like it is the working class pub of the city centre because it's just like packed from like 10 in the morning. I guys come past it, like my bus flies past that, and I'm like, there's people doing Whitney Houston at like fucking 10:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I love that
all day karaoke.
Spend your pension however you want to do it. You know what I mean? But at the back of the pub, the one thing I love about it, it's got this massive sign that alludes to all the thieves used to drop all the stuff off and you buy it from him. It just says, if we haven't got what you're looking for, give us 5 minutes. And it's beautiful and I love it. Like, but yeah, bar, like wax bar, been there for 10 years, loved it. Loved the people there, the bartenders. I've done a couple of shifts there over the years. Obviously it's next door to Grindhouse, so it's easy living.
Well, we've mentioned Grindhouse a few times. Let's expand on that.
Yeah.
So
the old G house, eh?
When did you finally open?
So we finally opened the doors on April 12th, 2021.
Cool, so just over a year old.
But we got the keys to it
the previous September?
Valentine's Day 2020.
Oh, shit.
So then, Valentine's Day 2020, we had about a good 2 or 3 weeks of like, ripping shit apart. 'Cause it used to be, the old wine rack and Jerry's.
Yeah.
And then, the world turned upside down and it was just like, what happens now? Like, I remember like, me and Dave just looking at each other going, we don't know. Like, no one knew, did they? Like, it was like, right, everyone stay at home. Everything's closed. I remember we'd been working all day at the bar, like ripping shit down or whatever, and then went to wax after we finished for a beer, and everyone was just like looking at the news on the phone, just like, like, we're not open tomorrow, like nowhere's open, like this is happening, and it's like,
yeah,
like I always look back at it and think, how the fuck did that happen? Like, that's something out of a film.
Yeah,
like, stay at home, don't come outside. Right, okay.
And we all did it as well.
Yeah, like that.
I was thinking recently that like I followed all of the fucking rules.
Yeah,
I was like the most like sort of bitched person there was for everyone.
I was like, I'm not a punk. What am I doing?
I stayed indoors for like a solid week or something.
Yeah.
I think at the beginning, the first week and a half, maybe even just
because I'm
legit following them stupid rules.
We've got 2 dogs, and it was like you know, we have to take them for a walk at least twice a day.
Yeah.
And
I didn't do that shit. I stayed the fuck indoors.
I remember Tasha like being worried about, what if someone sees us? I was just like, yeah, but we've got to take them out. Like, I know we can't, because I think the premise was, don't come into contact with other people. I was like, well, look, it's going to be a lot quieter out there than it usually is, so we can take the dogs out whenever we want, even for longer, because no one's going to be around. But yeah, she had the fear of like, what if someone sees us and like da-da-da. I was just like, if someone sees us, what are we going to do? There's like millions of people like literally either in fear or just confused, and it's just like I put my hand up. I was confused.
Yeah.
Like no idea what the fuck was going on.
I was confused for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, still am to a lesser degree, but like
still now.
Yeah.
You look back at it and go, what the fuck? And look what's happening now. Society's back. People are still getting ill.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck.
Yeah. So basically, we somehow got through all of that bullshit, and
yeah, April 12th we opened.
Yeah.
It was just outside seating. So
explain the location as well, because it is insane how good you got it.
Yeah. So we looked at the property, and it was like I said, the old wine rack Jerry's, and it was like, yeah, it's a good space. Kind of knew there was a lot of work to do to it, but at the same time, the spot on New Briggate. And we knew that the council were pedestrianising the street. So at the time, it was like one of the main bus routes in Leeds. Obviously, we're in between North, Cellar and Wax, all fucking great bars. So it was like, if we can get here, and because the front of ours is like, it's the biggest as well.
Yeah.
But because we knew that they were going to pedestrianise it and we'd be able to have an outside area eventually, it was kind of like, I mean, the Grindhouse idea that is in the bar with me and Dave, it literally came out of a pissed up conversation. You still up for it? Remember having that? Yeah. All right, I'm in. And yeah, so like from when we started building, let's say the interior and fitting it out, and we finally opened. This is like, it's fucking irony, but like, it was like, yes, we're here, we're open, outside area, and we had the outside area for a good I want to say 2 months, and then the roadworks happened. To pedestrianise the street, which don't get me wrong, is like great now.
Yeah.
But then it was just like we were a fucking building site for
I remember it was a rolling fucking headache, and it was like they were there, then they weren't, then they were. And it got to the point where we were doing breakfast and brunch, and week by week we were getting more and more, and like we were building and building, and then all of a sudden the street just fucking got canned, as in like roadworks. No one knew we existed anymore. You could barely even walk down like for what was one of the busiest streets in the city.
The amount of arguments and like with like Sisk, the construction company who the council had paid to do all this. Again, I'm happy it's happened, but Jesus Christ, their communication and just utter obliviousness to how it was crushing businesses.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like November and December just gone. You know, that's supposed to be like money time for the hospitality. You know what I mean? Christmas dues, everything, like bookings. And then, fucking dildo baggins, Boris Johnson, when he, I'm not a fucking political person, but when he made that comment and went, I recommend you all don't go out over Christmas, by the way.
Yeah.
We had like, all these bookings cancelled. Our December was worse than our November, and that never happens in our game. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like, but then because you're supposed to make your money in the December to cover the quiet period in January, we were fucking dead in December. So come the end of January, like this year, we were just like, are we sinking? Are we swimming? What are we doing here? So we had to stop serving in the day, cut the hours right down. Yeah, it was a fuck time, but now, right now we're doing good, and we're swimming. We're not just treading water, we're swimming. But
yeah, because I mean, you've been making efforts with like just getting different groups in as well. Like there was the weird film nights you got rocking there. Is it Slime or something or other?
Yeah.
and you've had like Rob Halas in the house with the Bastards Bistro. So
try to get like the pop-ups
trying to work
going.
the different angles to try and get.
I
guess just to get people aware that you're there is the main thing.
It's like, because one thing I've learned a lot in the last year or so, but it's like networking is a big thing. Like, and I don't just mean, I'm going to put this post on Instagram and like tag someone in it. It's like, you've got to go out there physically and like, I mean, I've done this for years anyway. Like, you go to bars and sit down, whether I'm with 3 people, 2, like, or on my own, usually on my own, because I'm going to and from either working, or I've got a meeting here, or there's a delivery coming, so I'll wait for it, or I'm doing an amazing podcast. So it, different things, you're hanging around and you're waiting around, but all these in between bits, I'll go to a bar and you'll just start chatting, or like, do you want a drink? And the funny thing is like 10 years ago, people are like, yeah man, thank you. Now, like you go, do you want a drink? And they're like, yeah, thank you. Is that all right? And it's like, whether that's, again, we've talked about it before, like the COVID thing, where it's like people going, someone's being nice to me. I don't understand this. And I never want to go, don't worry about it, I'm a bartender too. Which I get a lot. It's like, you can tell who the bartenders are here. Yeah. It's like, let it go, mate, just talk to me like a person. You could be a fucking, I don't know, any profession. As long as you can talk to someone, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they just go in and having like, either buying someone a drink, having a shot with them. I'll be there for 5 minutes. I might be there for 3 hours. But having that and going to different bars, and then eventually they might ask the question, oh, where do you work? And I'll go, oh, I work up at Grindhouse on Newbury. Oh, I've not heard of that place. Oh, it's a movie themed bar. We've got beer on tap, whatever. Come down, hang out, like whenever. So I've been doing that since we've been open. Like,
yeah.
Either revisiting bars that I used to go to years ago, and now I'm going back there. And again, I'm not doing it purely for. Yeah, you must
drumming up trade.
You must come to me. You must come to me.
But it's also cool just to kind of like get the feel for what the local scene is now.
I get like inspiration about doing different shit all the time. Like, you'll see either
cocktails.
a beer on someone's menu, or the way, I don't know, like a neon sign's put in a corner, like how a outside area is set out, or whatever they've got, like the foliage outside. It's constantly try to be on it.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't. If you just let it fucking lie, like, we won't be open. You know what I mean?
It's your puppy at the end of the day. So
yeah. But I also love that of it, and proof is in the pudding, man. Like, people are more and more coming up to the bar, and who work at other bars, and they might be shy. There's like, you go from, all right, we're connected to Santiago, but the couple of the Mojo people come in who don't know I used to work there, but like, they come in, I'll give them do you want a shot? Oh, thank you so much. Like, it's like, fucking hell. Or, the Oporto guys, or, all right, Wax is different, they're next door. We're always in and out. Staff from Whitelocks or Duck and Drake, and you just like, there's little things like that.
Yeah.
Make it worthwhile.
Well, it's,
what I mean?
As you say, it's like Whitelocks, so Sebas coming up after a shift. Sebas.
Does he come up after a shift? He never comes down.
But so it's like Sebas, local chef, and it's that thing of like, if you're in with the chefs, then they're going to rock up after they've closed the kitchen, and they're going to be there for a minute. It's,
that's where all that shit goes when he comes in. Should we have another shot, by the way?
I reckon. Let's see what Jack tastes like.
Whoa! Sour mash.
I've heard people talk about this. I'm curious on the.
It's what I used to start drinking, because Slash used to drink it, Lemmy used to drink it. The t-shirts were out there.
Yeah.
Big sigh.
What you reckon?
What? Describe it again.
Pineapple, coconut, lassi sour. I was
See, sours, lemon. I'm not a massive fan on.
Yeah. I'm a huge lover of them.
We've got at the moment. We've got the what is it? The Kirksville Vedita in.
I don't know that one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, people buzz off it.
I really like that.
Again, being honest, don't get it.
Yeah.
But
I like this one for the, like, obviously you've got a real frontal hit of the citrus. I kind of thought it was lemon, but maybe pineapple, whatever. But there is a genuine coconut aftertaste as well.
Right, yeah.
So I'm kind of into it. I actually had it on tap when I was in North Bar last.
All right, okay.
I prefer it on can.
Yeah.
But with North, I've got a bit of a mixed relationship for the sake of I just never like their beers. They just consistently come across as flavourless.
I mean...
So something that's like a citrus bomb like that is kind of...
Again, like this...
ticks my box.
This is my staple, right? And I don't just mean Heineken, I just mean... cheers, mate.
Flavourless lager.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Miller Lite for you.
One beer, and me and Johnny have always, like, bummed off every time I go to America. Like, you know, it's always in the dive bars, like, bottle of it. Gorgeous. In the fact that it's flavourless, but when it's ice cold, it's like, yeah, fucking, you drink, like, 10 of them in, like, 3 hours. But you can't get it anywhere in the UK. To the point of where, like, I've looked, and to import a case of 24 bottles.
Miller?
Yeah, Miller High Life.
Okay.
I think it costs like 50, 60 quid to import a case. But it's not that good. I got this little baby for £12, don't worry about it. But yeah, I always love the branding of it, like. But yeah, like I say.
Yeah, we cracked one of these Northern Monks Just Beer. Cracked one of these before you started. 3.4%.
I like that. The simplicity of that, as in the branding.
It's decent. You'd probably be into it as a beer as well. It had like a cheeky little nice hoppy smell to it, but then drinking wise, taste wise, it's just smash it down.
Well, that's what I mean. Like going back to, I'm gonna tie it in with JD in a minute, but like always grew up drinking like lager and. Like I grew up in a few pubs when I was really young, and that was like my first ever pint was bitter, like Stone's bitter.
Yeah.
Like 2.8%, like treacle. But as a kid, I was just like, yeah, like you'd have a pint a week or something. Like my mum used to be the landlady at the, remember the, was she the landlady or she just behind it? But the Mulberry, it's closed down now. You know where Costco is?
I was going to say, is that on the road out of town?
Yeah. So there's Costco, then like right by the side, there's the motorbike shop, and then there's like a pub called the
I swear I've got a sick photo of that.
Yeah.
Is this just stood there on its own now?
Yeah.
I got a sick photo of that one time when I was walking. I had a job, some insurance job out that way.
Yeah. So my mum used to work there, and I
find
always
that
used to
picture.
go with her on shift and like just hang out and like. You had like Coca-Cola on tap. So
Yeah.
And then every now and then, like someone like, boy, like get half a fucking bitter or whatever, and like pubs like that, and the Junction in Beeston, the Whistle Stop and stuff. Like I always used to like chip off them.
Oh, there you go. So there we go then. That's why you're on a bar.
Yeah, my dad's side, like he was, the Three Horseshoes in Headingley.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was his local, and I used to go with him there, with his mate, him and Steve. Met up with him actually a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like, he was the guy that got me into Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, sick.
Like sometimes I wouldn't go to the pub. He'd be like, oh, you should watch this film. And like, if my dad's best mate would be like, oh, you need to watch this, and it'd be like Big Trouble in Little China and Roadhouse. I'd be like, 10-year-old me just going, all right, yes, and I was like, oh my God,
And
these
again,
films are
basically
amazing.
that is Grindhouse.
Yeah.
So I think we've just stumbled on it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. This is it's I guess it all just really does tie into you couldn't name two films that could like better sum up the vibe that's inside of Grindhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea we had for it was, the initial I was like, right, movie themed bar, let's do it. Kind of like cafe vibes as well. Obviously, with what we talked about before, killing off the day trade with the roadworks, we're hopefully going to get back to that at some point. But you always knew that the bread and butter, what I knew anyway, like was late night bars.
Yeah.
And the fact that we could add, for me, like the music's, music has to be good. Don't get me wrong. But for me, that's easy. Like, bang, every bar does music. Like, so having the the screen at the back, the movie posters. The only thing I can remember that was similar was like Fab. But as much as I used to love Fab when I was younger, it was also very, very...
It was Fab.
Yeah, it was Fab.
Fab was Fab. It was just one of them.
Before,
it was just like, I remember like just fucking... When you're stumbling through town and you're just like, well, let's just go in, let's go in Fab because it's fun.
I always remember just going because it was cheap as fuck.
And you could get in there as well. Because, as well, it's like, a city centre, there's going to be like kind of 4 spots in a city centre that like sort of the way that we dress and live are going to get into.
Yeah. So, and they're not going to blink, are they? Just like, come in.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been drifting down from like the Fenton and stuff, you're just like, right, okay, let's go in. But so I just had this, there's nothing like that. Let's do it. And there wasn't like a massive, this has to be this one. It was like, let's plaster all the our favourite, films on the wall, like as in poster wise. We'll have a big screen at the back and we'll play, films in the background. Yeah. And we've done a few film nights. We did a few with the Slime guys. We've done a few on our own. We're going to do coming up. I want to do a Die Hard night.
Okay.
Just because I fucking love Die Hard.
Yeah, well, I know that you've closed...
1, 2 and 3 anyway.
Okay. I know that you've closed on Sundays for the meantime.
Yeah.
As you were saying earlier with the whole trade issue and blah, blah, blah. Eventually, down the line, when Sunday trading is back in the mix at Grindhouse, I think that it's an idea that we've talked on for a long time. Swayze Sunday.
Mate, I'm in.
So basically, it's relatively self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But just to walk you through it, it will be on. I'm visualizing a Sunday, and it's going to
Sunday before Sunday or Sunday after Sunday.
Any basically.
Okay.
And there's basically just going to be a shitload of Swayze films,
Mate,
potentially Roadhouse.
The sexiest motherfucker that ever lived.
Basically. You might watch Dirty Dancing a couple of times as well. I actually referenced Dirty Dancing today at work. It's
Ben Palmer's
always
favourite
in
film.
The psyche. Ben's always in the psyche. Dirty Dancing's always in the psyche. Swayze's always in the psyche.
It's Tasha's favourite film. Like, hey, again, it's another film that I grew up with.
Yeah.
My mum always watching it.
My mum on her 50th birthday, we had this huge party, like just all of people from across her life and all these old friends she'd worked with, she hadn't seen in 20 years. And the sort of the crowning glory of her 50th birthday party was a Patrick Swayze impersonator that came into the room and did like a dance with her. So
I love that. That's the thing.
Did he look like
Patrick Swayze impersonator? Did
he look like Patrick Swayze?
No.
Did he fuck?
No.
He looked like a bald Patrick Swayze. But my mum was over the moon, and it was a fantastic evening. But like that's besides the point. But yeah. It was what it was. It was fantastic. Mate, just putting that out there.
What a career path.
Swayze Sunday for when.
Hey, I'm in.
Yeah.
We'll get some food on the go.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Over and over again. Favorite Swayze film? Dirty Dancing.
No, it's going to be Roadhouse for me.
I always go Roadhouse or Point Break.
It's a
Roadhouse
between the two.
Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing, Point Break.
And also Tu Wong Fu because it's fucking hilarious.
So yeah, Swayze Sunday, we'll make this happen.
Mate, I'm fucking
Tu Wong Fu, and thanks for the memories.
Yeah. We'll do one to start with. Like literally, let's do it. Swayze Sundays.
Yeah.
And fucking hey, yeah, mate. Like do it once a month or whatever. Like similar to like Christian did the Taco Tuesday on just gone.
Yeah. So how's that been going then, food wise? What have you been?
So like again, you mentioned like
you've got a kitchen set up in there.
Yeah. So we had the kitchen set up, and again,
it's like half the bar.
We had to kind of cut that off just to save money basically.
Yeah.
And then it was like, right, pop-up's a thing, like rife in Leeds, like, you know what I mean? Like, and there's so many good people doing it. So yeah, like Rob from Bastards did it for a bit, and then his events kind of took over and whatnot. So again, the kitchen was vacant. So I've got Chris Dewan from Wax, Hey Ho Taco is his Instagram.
Okay.
He did his first one with us just Tuesday, just gone. Fucking packed it out, sold out.
Just on Tuesdays then?
So we're figuring it out.
Okay.
We're going to do it once a month as we go now. But in the coming weeks, I've got birria bandits. They're, again, tacos where you dip it into the broth.
Oh, yeah. I saw Feed the Dog did something like that.
Yeah. So I saw that they were...
I still haven't been to Feed the Dog down on Court Lane, but they were based in Rowlands.
Yeah. I again, still not been down there.
But the food looks fucking... The fries, I
Yeah.
on. When Owen was on, we were talking about the fries.
Oh, right, yeah.
And they look insane. It's like, yeah.
There was that and... was it Honest Burgers that opened around the corner?
I think they were up at Northern Monk.
Oh, right, okay.
I think, actually, are they still at Northern Monk?
Yeah.
You went there.
Because they've got they've just opened the unit around the corner.
They've just opened, yeah.
So when they opened, like...
So where's their spot then?
So you know where Red's Barbecue is, on the corner where Court Lane is?
Yeah.
And then you've got, fucking hell, what's it called? Las Lagunitas or whatever it is.
Oh, round down
and
there.
It's the next one.
Yeah.
So it's the next one. So on the opening day, like you walk past and it was just like, you want a free burger and fries? I was just like, yeah. And so the opening day they just give out free food, and yeah, it was good because it was free. But the burger was banging.
Yeah. No, Honest Burger are seriously legit.
I'm so out the loop with certain stuff, but getting all these pop-ups hopefully to come into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like birria bandits. I had a chat today with a guy who wants to do a ramen kitchen. He wants to put on some gnarly fucking Japanese films.
Sick.
He got again, I'm not into like, I know about Japanese, but he just was like, yeah, I want to show this film and that film, and I was just like that. But I was like, you've got a fucking ace idea here.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just passionate about Japanese food, and if possible, and again, it'll only be for like pending Swayze Sundays. I was like, you're booked in now. But he was just like, his ideas that were flowing out, and you know, he's another person that just comes in and drinks, and then all of a sudden he was just like, would I be able to do this? I was like, the floor is yours, my friend. What is in these boxes?
I think she's taking them out, actually. Fancy wine glasses.
Nice.
Oh, they're in there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've got some... I'm going to break them.
Nice.
We've got some fancy wine glasses, and they've got a name, Zalto. So...
I'm having that. Zalto.
Nicole's sister works... where's the other Zalto? Oh, that's it. Nicole's sister works for I think she's a buyer for a South African winery. She's over in South Africa. And she had...
I've been wine tasting in South Africa when I was 16.
Well,
it was ace.
So the theory is that these Zalto glasses make shit taste better.
Right, okay.
So I think I'll...
Ooh. It's really interesting when you drink two of the same thing.
Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll just... I guess...
Are we getting the wine in, or are we just getting beers in the wine glasses?
Those are beer glasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we'll give this... Have a wet of that, just so you can clear...
Cleanse the palate.
Cleanse the palate, sir. So we'll give it a try on the lesser, and then we'll try the Zalto. I figured we'd go with this beer because this is...
I don't know which one that is.
Mirror Shield, apparently. Mirror Shield from Hudson Valley Brewery. Hudson Valley...
It's blowing my mind right now, Steve.
Well, Hudson Valley, for my money, are the guys that really kind of kicked off the fruited sour game.
Right, okay.
They came across to the UK.
Is this a big thing? Like, you love the sours then?
Oh, I was just waiting for the summer of sours to drop. I was saying that 2020 was going to be the summer of sours,
right?
And then the world had other plans. But so Hudson Valley came to the UK in, I think, 2018 for Hop City. 18 or 19. No, I think it was 19 actually. And they kind of brought their produce, which was this fruited sour creation.
This is the lavender beer.
So the folklore, lychee and lavender, this one is. The folklore on this brewery was that prior to setting up Hudson Valley Brewery, they set up 2 other kind of like breweries under different names whilst they were perfecting the whole process of what they wanted to do, because they didn't want to like sully the name of their actual brand down the line once before they perfected it. They then basically brought this shit to the UK. Everyone lost their goddamn minds over how great it was.
Oh, really?
And everyone has basically since been falling over themselves to try and replicate it. So let's see what this is like.
So are these the same but just in different glasses?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, smells.
So is it
like
we got taught this in
Oh, you got to breathe in. You got to breathe in as you don't breathe in through your nose. You breathe in through,
no,
through your
but
mouth.
it like because it's fucking. We were doing it
No, I
at a
don't
wine
like that.
tasting, and it's when you just go, would you like? Obviously, it's like elegant,
Yeah.
and you taste it, and they're like, oh, you should open your mouth when you take, you breathe it in. You're like, we both sat there at this wine tasting in this village, and don't get me wrong, it was lovely, but we were like, after a few wines, we were just both going, oh, this is amazing.
Nice, tangy. It's the tang that I like. It's like the easy drinking tang.
I can get behind it because I imagine, like, I love my sweets.
Yes, it's like a twister in a fucking
Like
glass.
a refresher bar and like Tangfastics or whatever.
It's the tang. It's the sours that get it right for me are the ones that like don't necessarily have the, but they have the ooh.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah. So. And let's give it a whirl on Zalto.
So these are designed.
Lead-free crystal and at very specific angles.
I wasn't expecting this. You're
Incredibly-
literally like
so
taking me down an avenue that I never go.
Lead-free crystal angles.
hand blown.
I didn't want to touch that then.
I know, yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Oh well, it even smells. That is more pronounced. That's a hell of a lot.
All I'm thinking is like how delicate the glass is.
Ignore that. Just
And how much you've had to drink.
just
You just
Right.
crush it.
That was awesome, dude. Get the word.
Cheers! Cheers!
Crush.
Oh no, that's horrible.
Right, my palate is fucked, but I will say that was and this is the same beer.
Yeah, this feels smoother.
Yeah,
That
was sour as fuck. This is like soft.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah.
And that's coming from someone who drinks Heineken.
Yeah.
And doesn't
shots.
really care.
I'm gonna say that the smell is like insanely more full-bodied on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
My nose is fucked, but like the taste, that was like, again, Haribo, Tangfastics.
Yeah.
That I was like, I didn't taste anything, but the sour wasn't there.
It was just it's a smoother.
It's a smoother. I find
It's far subtler an experience,
so weird.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Let's see what it does with Jameson's.
Yeah.
it like I've done it with.
Yeah, that was.
That's
yeah,
like-
yeah. You need to. Nicole needs some of that.
Can I have a toilet break, by the way?
Do I need another beer? Well,
I do. Want to drip any water? Any water?
drip in the water.
Drip in the water.
Back to your mojo time.
Yeah.
Because I guess, you're still a cocktail man if people need it at Grindhouse, but obviously, as you say, there's going to be 50 or so in the mix at Mojo. A lot more.
At least, yeah.
What would you say are like the absolute worst? What was it the passion fruit fella, the porn star martini?
Porn star martini, man. Like,
Gives you top 5 absolute nightmare cocktails.
as in taste-wise, or
No,
just
as in like
general?
for you to make. Like
If,
as in
if someone
rocks
comes to the
up.
bar and it's like makes you think, cunt. Yeah.
I do like mojitos though, so tread carefully.
No. Hey, mojitos, fucking top dollar.
Yeah.
Like, A, they're popular. B, they make you money, and C, they taste great.
Fuck yeah.
And it's simple. It's simple. It's rum and soda and mint and lime.
Mint.
Like, yeah, some people have to flick the mint and stuff. Just put the mint in the glass, man. It's like it's one of the most simple. Even though people like complain, oh, I have to make mojitos, 17 mojitos.
Seriously, it's one of them that like people despise making.
It's just like dang, squeeze the lime in, put a double rum in it, whack the mint in, top it up with soda, mix it around a bit, crushed ice. What's your problem? There's a lot worse. Like porn star martinis is like, I love sweets, and it's like a shit sweet. Because you, like for me, like when you drink alcohol, it's even when people order shots, it's like, oh, I'll go get tequila. Shots, and like after people drink tequila and they go, it's like, why are you asking for a tequila if you don't like it? Oh, it's tequila, innit? It's like, I have more respect for people that order like shots of Chambord or Kahlua.
Just because they like the taste.
Because they like the taste.
Yeah.
Rather than like, that's like, that's disgusting. You ordered it. Div. Like, and it's just like that, like complex to like cocktail wise, yeah. Porn. Oh, here we go. My man. Like, just, I don't know. I've never been a massive fan of Negronis. I've never understood them.
Okay.
I know they're popular, especially in the bar world, and like bartenders love drinking them. It tastes like drinking a cat's tongue. It's the driest thing in the fucking world. Like, I like gin. Campari's all on its own. Vermouth in it. Why would you put all that shit together? Like, it's grim. But this is all personal preference. Like,
this is what it's about, fella.
But as soon as someone asks for a Negroni, like my instant.
You grony.
Yeah.
I'm here all night, pal.
But it's not that the cunt factor is the porn star martini. When someone orders a Negroni, I'm just like, why? Like, why? Seriously, that's it. And then, what else have we got on the spectrum? Fuck me. I guess old fashions in a way.
Okay.
Just because, obviously, I pour whiskey down my throat like it's water. And whiskey's a nice drink.
Do you know what this is? Yeah, this is like the sort of the two sides of the table, because it's like the people that like to appreciate that shit and really like, oh, it's got to be, and the ice cube's got to be this size, and it's got to be poured in these ratios, and it's just give me a shot.
It's mixed with sugar. You pound a bit of orange peel with it. There's some bitters in there, and then you put some ice cubes in there, and you stir it around. It's like, mate, I could have had that in like 0.2 seconds down my throat, and you've just paid £9 for it, where you can have a double shot and it'd cost you less. But the people I get it. It's an old fashioned.
Do you know what I will say though? Yeah, I've never fucked with them, but like a mate of mine's really into them. So when I go back to Cardiff, I'll have them, and I do genuinely enjoy them. But the price is like, what the fuck?
Like we do, it's like infused with like chai tea and Jameson Black Barrel, which is basically Jameson's version of a bourbon. And Lee Jones, again, who works for, he's a cocktail mastermind, man, and he loves it. One of my best mates, he came up with that for us for our menu, and it's just like, it is nice. Don't get me wrong, like, whiskey and chai tea, that's something different.
Yeah.
But when it's just like sugar, orange peel, over ice, bang, 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 there you go. But I'll always sympathise with people that order it early on. If someone's ordering an old fashioned at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not an appreciation
Get out.
moment. Yeah. You're too far gone for that.
You can't taste it. You're not doing it. You're doing it for like attention or whatever.
Yeah. That's like, it's after 11.
Yeah,
it's now.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's like, so we got porn star martini, Negroni, old fashioned. There's got to be one more out there. I mean,
do you know what? My instinct says the daiquiri type shit, but only for the sake of you having
as in the blender stuff.
That's it. Yeah. But you seem to like, because you've got that locked down at the bar. If it's a simple process.
Ironically, our blender broke, so they're off the menu at the moment.
Oh, shit.
Sorry guys, no strawberry daiquiris, no pickle nuts. Sorry guys.
But ideally that would be like, for me it seems like a ball ache, but you seem to rock it, so.
It isn't it? I think it's because I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
And
it's mostly water, so you're like laughing.
You've just got it's just syrup. So you use like strawberry syrup, strawberry puree.
But like the ice factor as well though, it's gonna be like fucking, like.
And then you put a scoop of that in and you blend it for fucking 20 seconds and it's like, and everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's literally, you just made a slushie for someone with 2 shots of booze in it. and they're fucking frigging themselves off about it. It's just like...
Well, it's fucking great is why, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mate,
it is actually worth
when I'm on
yourself
holiday
off.
and I'm on the beach, I'm ordering 10 of them.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not slating the drink.
When I'm drinking them, I'm thinking I might want to fuck this. It's if it was in a
But
glass,
it-
if
I
it was
love
in a
the
glass
f-
like
I-
this, I might try and
I
fuck
love the
it.
fact that people get amazed by it and they're like,
That's just daywalkers, not really.
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's like
Forget about that.
that's the thing. It's like people that aren't like bar natives, they're very impressed by booze. So it's like
Impressed by like when I drink a shot on my own behind the bar. Can you do that? Oh my god, your job's amazing. Yeah, in a word.
On the flip side, what are the cocktails that when people order you like, you know what you fucking with?
As in like fair play.
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
what are the
that's
cocktails that get somebody a bit of a kudos?
Fucking hell, there's very few. 'Cause it involves me doing work, but no.
Rum and Coke.
I don't like when people know their shit. It's like it's more. I mean, I'm going away from cocktails now.
Yeah.
This is like and it's like as if if I was serving me and someone does it and they go, "Can I get?" And I'll literally go, "Oh, we've got draft up here. We've got bottles and cans in here. Any cocktail you can think of, I can probably make it, whatever." And the person will just go, "Oh, can I just get a bottle of Heineken and a shot of whiskey?" And I'll go, "What whiskey do you want?" All right, I'm not saying it has to be Jameson's.
Yeah.
But this guy will be generally, and it won't even be a bartender. It's always like either a guy or girl on business, maybe someone on the break off a bar, but generally it's like a dude on his own who's just like, "Yep, fine, this is what I want, this is easy, let's go." And they'll stay for like, there was a guy in like about a week ago, and he was on his own, and he was just pounding bottles of lager and shots of whiskey. And then every now and then he'd be like, "One for you." I was just like, yeah. And talking about this is what I do, as in when I'm at the bar.
Yeah.
And finally, like, like, "Thanks for coming down." I was like, "Never been to Leeds before. You've got a good place here." I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." He's like, "Yeah, I might be back around next year." I was like, "Oh, cool. Hopefully, man. Like, see you later." Walked out, never saw him again. But in that instance, I'm like, "Who are you?" Like, that mystery that he left.
Why is it going to be a year?
Because he was just so flippant with the.
How does the year factor into it?
That's not me. I don't do that. Like, I wish I could exit a bar like that. I might be back next year.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you? Like some kind of secret agent.
But then
or
he
some
rocks
shit.
in and it's like, well, how's your year been?
Yeah.
You've got that lynch then.
And it was just like thinking, oh no, I don't know, he might work in a bar or in Morrison's or it's a factory work, I don't know. Yeah, you've got a good place here, man. Oh, thanks a lot, man. Means a lot. Yeah. See you next year.
So basically, just
I was like,
so
what?
basically just keep it simple.
Yeah. But that's what I love about it. And I think like when you say, "What are your cocktails to make you go, ooh, good choice?" Even if someone orders like a martini, like a vodka martini, I'm like, yeah, it's a strong drink, good one. But 9 times out of 10, the people order that a vodka martini or a Manhattan don't know that it tastes like it's full on booze. They think, "Oh, I've heard of that before. That'll taste nice."
Yeah.
I had that this week. I had it in Santiago. I had it in Santiago once where a guy came in. He owned a strip club, and he came in with all these strippers. There must have been fucking 12, 15 of them, and he 15 Manhattans. I was just like, especially back then, I was just like, fuck my life. Like making them all, blah, blah, blah. And, back then, they were probably shit Manhattans because it was like, 6 months into a bar job. But I fucking knocked them all out. And he drank all his. Guess what happened to the other fucking 14 of them? Just left them on the bar because they hated them. See you later, we're off somewhere else now. You're welcome, Dave Holmes. But it was just like so many times people order something they think they like.
Yeah.
That whether they read the ingredients of it, like, "Oh, I like vodka, I like gin, I like vermouth." No, you don't understand. That's all it is. That's it, with like a bit of ice and water diluted into it. That's it. Don't think this is going to blow it. It's not a porn star martini. And that's the difference of, like, I think working in, like, having orders for cocktails and stuff. You're just like, please know what you like. Or when they go, oh, what do you recommend? And I'll hand on heart, I'll literally go, bottle of Heineken, shot of Jameson's. Every time.
Yeah.
I could have a cocktail on the menu for like 30 quid. I'd never recommend it because I don't drink it. And it's like, yeah, having that, I don't know. You've probably seen it before where, oh yeah, I want this because other people drink it.
Yeah. PBR.
That as well. Like, but their branding's like second to none.
Yeah.
And that's why it works. Like, if it's in a can, people will drink it, and I'm the same. It's a weird mindset.
Again, back to
That's awesome.
The Northern Monk beer, this just beer. I'm not a fan of it, but if it was like, you know, if it was out there, motherfuckers would buy it just because it looks cool. It's like, what you want? Just beer.
Yeah,
it's like even saying it at the bar. It's like saying PBR at the bar is a cool thing to say at a bar. And saying
People
just
say
beer
PBR.
would be...
You would, if no one had said, like, no one like abbreviates drinks apart from PBR.
Yeah. It's
like, it's Pabst Blue Ribbon.
It plays into, because it sounds horrible. It sounds like those blue
Can
ribbon.
I get a MHL?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like those chocolate bars, the ribbon bars that you had as a kid.
Oh, yeah,
Especially since
blue
they were
ribbons.
blue. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you just love them. Wafers.
Exactly, yeah.
Chocolate
but like,
wafers.
It all comes down to branding, and it's every once in a while something will be able to like traverse between the lines and kind of we get to initialize it and it works. But
that's like, it's, how do you say it? Pop culture and stuff like it's ingrained in people's heads.
Austin.
Yeah. So
it's the Texas thing. Austin got
Jack
cool.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Like,
it's, I think South by Southwest probably is.
Jack Daniels, fine. Never had a problem with it. I used to drink it as a kid. Obviously, still do. But the branding of that is like, will be ingrained in history forever. And the only reason that probably sells now is because of what it used to be. It's not what it is now. No one gives a shit about it now. It's just because what you...
It's just like the image of the old man putting logs in a fire or something.
It's that, and it's like, for me,
Lemmy.
That's rock and roll.
Lemmy, yeah.
That's all. That's
you
it.
You see that visually, and it's like that is the aesthetic that you want.
Yeah.
It's like if you get a shot of Jack, you've got that label basically. You're drinking that label is what you're having. It's
no one gives a shit what it tastes like.
No.
You could put fucking Tesco's Sainsbury's own in that bottle and pour it to someone who was wearing a Jack Daniels t-shirt and a Jack Daniels hat.
Do you know what? I was in a fucking bar
and they'd be like, yeah. They wouldn't be like, ugh. But you're not wearing the t-shirt, so you're all right.
It's all good. Jesus, yeah.
It's fucking... But I love how that works with people, and it probably still does to me. I'm sure all of us, where it's...
Oh, yeah.
It's ingrained in you to think, I like this because it looks good.
Tell you what doesn't look good, though, is when you split a bag of crisps open and dump, like, some sort of hot food inside of it.
Mate, that looks amazing. Like, really good.
Which brings us seamlessly into the food side of what the fuck is that you've been doing?
So, I mean, I call them hula pies. It stemmed from when I was in Texas. Talk about Texas.
Back to Austin. All roads lead back to Austin.
Went there for a week. Friend Jonty's birthday, it was his 30th, so we went over there for a week. And there was a bar called Yellow Jacket. Fucking awesome place, like kind of out, not like on, there's like a main strip called 6th Street. It was like out away from that. Fucking awesome outdoor area. It's fucking Texas, so it's hot all the time. And I was just like, remember going there, I was like, it was beer, whiskey. And then it was like every now and then you'd be like, I need some food. And this place was like, I should have a Frito pie. I was like, what the fuck's a Frito pie? It's like, it's, Fritos, the crisps. So I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like that, and homemade chili, and put it in, give you a fork, and you eat it out of the bag. And I was like, I'll have one of them. Ended up having 10 of them. Came home, forgot about them. Because that was in like 2010. And then, when we were getting the bar ready and stuff, it just kind of popped back into my mind. I was like, man, like, how simple is this? But then there was a little bit of research that needed to be done, which is a very British thing. We all love our crisps. And so, yeah, I basically spent some of lockdown was just like trying it at home in different bags of crisps, like Seabrook, Walkers, McCoy's, hula hoops. I was just like going through that's all I was doing there every day, like going to like the local Tesco and buying different crisps and then making the same chili. And hula hoops just fell in just because of the ease. There's a lot of points to this, by the way. A, because they do the bigger bags. So when you cut it open, you've got a bigger bag. You can crush them easy, which is what you do when you got everything in. You crush them together.
Okay.
The fair few that stay connected, easy picked up with a fork. Can't pick a Seabrook up with a fork, mate. I'm telling you now. Tried it. And so yeah, I started doing that. I'm doing it tomorrow. We've got a couple of regulars that come in every Friday and they love it. Like, and when it's not on,
yeah,
they'll let me know. They're like, "Where the fucking hula hoops and chili ain't bagging that." And like they brought all the mates and hey, try a bit of that. How did you come up with this, mate? It's just fucking banging. I was like, I know it sounds weird, but it is the best thing in it. Like as a bar snack.
Bag of hula hoops, chili on top.
Yeah, so like bag of hula hoops, crush them up, cut it open, homemade chili, fresh chili, coriander, bit of sour cream, mix it all up, added hot sauce if need, put a fork in it, £3, and it'll last you, what, it takes about two minutes to eat max.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, spend any money on plates because it comes in the bag. And yeah, but when people, it's not taken up because we keep on like chopping and changing, like when I get the time to do it.
Yeah.
But when it's on, people are just like, oh, cheese in there as well, by the way, because it melts over the chili. It's just the best thing, like best bar snack I've ever had in my life. But the fact that it was, north of 10 years ago when I had it, and then it just kind of snapped back in my head. I was like, but because you can't get Fritos in the UK, I looked at it again. It's like the Miller Lite, you spend X amount. So I was like, right, the crisp research. But yeah, full on, mate. Like, have you had one?
No.
Come in tomorrow, mate.
Basically, I think that's what needs to happen.
Mate, if you love spice, chili, crisps, sour cream, coriander, hot sauce, boom, and it's in your palm of your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, after we did it, like, do you ever watch the Bourdain series and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember which one it is, but I think it might be, is it New Mexico? And he goes into a place and it's like, they've got it on the menu. It's like, oh, I'll have a beer, a soda, and a Frito pie. And this is after I'd kind of done it. So like me and Tasha were like watching it, and I was like, "Oh, hey, he doesn't want any Bourdain, loves it." So yeah, he
basically seal of approval.
Oh mate, what a dude that guy is.
Oh fuck yeah.
Like, but yeah, he was. Yeah, the fact that it's only like 2 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, now I've got gratification. I know that it's
yeah.
Because don't get me wrong, there's other people that are like you guys, like, what the fuck is that about? You're insane. Like, are you losing ideas?
It looks absolutely bonkers, but like I guess if you ain't tried it.
But
it looks amazing.
When we first did it, 8-9 times out of 10 people were like, oh yeah, I just fucking remember. There was like, for instance, my dad was like, he was like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, packet of crisps with chili in it. I was like, look around you, everyone's eating it. He's like, oh, go on then.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, fucking tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up and give us the sum on Grindhouse. Why should people fuck with it?
Come fuck with us, because let's face it, there's plenty of places to go in Leeds. There's plenty of places to go in the UK. I ain't going to say we're the best bar in the world, but we are doing something different, and there's a lot of heart behind it, and there's a lot of hard work behind it. And if you come down, I guarantee you'll come back. Whether it's chili and the hula hoop, whether it's Heineken and Jameson,
Swayze Sundays,
stay tuned, or anything that you can see that there's heart behind and belief.
I think it's one of them things as well that when Owen was here, I said to him that, like, because Owen obviously massive personality, beautiful fucking guy, and to know him, to go into any bar that he's working, it's like, you know, it's Owen's on the bar, you're gonna like just have a chat with him.
That's the
and going into your spot, it's like, you know, again you've got like Lammy on the bar, Dave, you on the bar, and it's all personalities that like actually know how to engage with a customer, you know, and it's like,
and that's the thing. It's like,
it's, as you say, you've got the heart.
I'll you know, I mention stuff that I think a lot of people would promote their bar at, but then I go, oh, by the way, there's like movies on the screen. We got some decent tunes playing, and oh yeah, we've got this nice little front terrace when the sun's out. So like fucking Grindhouse, mate. 15 years old. 15 years? 15 months. 15 years. I'm getting ahead of myself here. How long have I been here, Steve? 15. No wonder. I should be back at work. No. 15 months. We're still here. And, you know, I appreciate the support from you guys. You're always fucking behind it and, you know, doing this. And I want to support you as well doing this. Because this is us, baby.
It's appreciated, right? Let's wrap it up.
Hell yeah.
Love you.
You too, man. Should we have another shot before we kick off?
Yeah, one more. Back to the JMO. Oh, so are you working tonight?
No.
Oh, cool.
No, day off today.
Is it Lammy on tonight?
Lammy and Joe.
Yeah, and I saw Dave was off at Safari Park today.
Parade of grafters. Jackie, no! Ding, ding.